Hi everyone. Thank you for your support for the previous videos. This is a short video for how to do a simple and effective resume or CV. So resume and CV, there is not a huge difference. In UK or European countries, it's mostly called CV, and in US it's mostly called resume. But the thing is, CV can be longer. Resume is maximum 1 to 2 pages. So this is your first impression when you are applying for a job. So please don't send the same resume to every employer. You have to really tailor it, customize it according to each job. Look into the job description. Yeah, and you might have all the key skills what they are requested for, but in your resume you haven't highlighted those skills which that employer asking for. So it is very important that you tailor it, so you can make a resume and keep it as your primary copy, and then you can create different resumes for each employer you are applying for. Or even if you are in the same job, you are applying for career progress or anything, updating your resume is very important. So my references for this talk is from a few courses I have done. So I also have made many mistakes previously when I was doing my CVs or resumes. So what I have learned, just I'm going to give you the tips. So 1 to 2 pages only, that is important, not too long, bullet points and everything. So this, if the resume is a great one, you will stand out in a interview process or the selection process, because the employer will have many CVs coming to them, and they will just pick a few. So if your CV is not that good, they will not select you from the start itself. You may well be a very good candidate. So what can we do? So I'm going to talk about the parts of the resume. I will be giving a few samples towards the end. This can be used for nursing. I'll give some nursing resume samples as well as non-nursing, because the non-nursing also the basic format can be followed. So on the top of the page you will have your name and your address, and then phone number and your email. So make sure that your name is a little bigger font and very clear. You have to make sure that the format and everything is clear, that the employer don't have to struggle looking and reading. It has to be like at least 12 size letter and so on. So that is important to give the first top half clear. And then the second part is headline and summary. So headline can be your current job title, or it can be like professional summary. Give a professional summary or a personal statement, depending on your personal preference, how you want to give it. So you will give a short summary of your work experience, and you will give your key skills at following that. So that is also very important. And then it will be your work experience. So your work experience is going to be a reverse chronological order, so that you know that it's starting from the current employer. You start from the current employer and then go back in a reverse chronology. So make sure you write the institution properly, and then your role and your instead of copying the job description, write your achievements or your role as in a personalized way. That will make you really stand out. And then the next part is education, so you give that also in the reverse chronology. What is your current or recent study, then the previous one, then like that will be. And then the so that is pretty much it. All the rest can be achievements or your professional certifications. All this you can add what according to your interest. So it's not a must, but for nursing it's worth adding your professional accreditations or all those things you can add, like your NMC pin, and that it's worth adding. Some do's and don'ts. These things are very useful, I find. After you write the resume, please spell check it. It's extremely important not to make any grammar mistakes or any mistakes, and ask somebody to proofread it for you, so that another person will, when have a look at it, they will find out what if there is any mistake. And it should be, as I said, in a easy to read format, and font and margin and spacing, everything, those simple things to be followed. And when you give your personal email address, make sure that it is in a professional form, like for example, not like pinklady@gmail, not that good. Give your name or something professional. Then in your job summary, don't include I or me or anything. If you can write managed to work or something like that, you can add. Then references giving is not a must, but if the employer requires it, you can give it. Then please don't say anything which you haven't done. Don't add them. Or the trust or the honesty is one of the main thing. Like for example, in the operating room, cases you have seen but you haven't actually assisted, so don't add them as you are expert with those cases. That doesn't look good. These days employers, they're easy to find out all the things, so just be honest. And don't write resume or CV on top. The employer pretty much knows that this is the CV, this is a resume, so no need to write that. And personal information like your age, your date of birth, your marital status, your religion, these things you don't have to include, unless if the date of birth or anything, some Middle East or Eastern in Asian countries, if they are asking for it, then you have to. Otherwise it's not a must. You don't have to give your passport details or anything. You don't have to put it in your resume. Photograph. I've seen recently that everybody's doing, I have also done it, that adding photograph, but it is not a must. You don't have to add your photograph. But if it is a requirement, please give a photograph with an approachable look, not that staring or anything. So that will be helpful. And you don't have to add hobbies as well. And another thing in nursing or any other job, especially in nursing, adding gaps. Don't feel bad that you have gaps in your service. It's our life. Life events cannot be avoided. You have twins. You are a mom. You have to look after the family, or you had a surgery. There are many reasons. So don't be apologetic. You can give the reasons if they ask for it. So. Or if you have done any volunteering or any study during that time, you can give that as well. I hope it is helpful, and any suggestions or anything, you can send it to my email, which is career advice, Monsi, no space, and advice with an S, @gmail.com. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Good luck.